Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Drakiith, Erie V23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder Through the Ashes, as today we get to know our new friends here.
We'll save everyone, no doubt about it.
Okay. Now, at a glance, Sendri is pretty standard. Nice, basic assortment of low-level spells. We've got Grease, Magic Missile, Snowball, all solid picks. But things do get a bit weirder once you really kind of get into his character build. Stat spread's pretty standard, Dex is a little lower than I'd like, Con's a bit higher. But I feel like it gets weird once you notice he's a Seeker, which is a Rogue Sorcerer hybrid. But then they basically completely ignored the rogue part of it. He didn't invest in any of the special Seeker rogue skills. Instead, he put his skill points into Arcane Lore, which I guess makes sense, but he's also terrible at. UMD, which he's okay at, but Aiden is better. And then Nature Lore, which just kind of comes out of left field, and is completely redundant on him because, of course, we get a plus 12 from Kanos. It makes me wonder why they bothered making him a Seeker if they weren't going to put any points into Trickery, Stealth, or Perception. You know, the things he'd actually get bonuses to for being a gnomish Seeker. I mean, look, it's certainly not the first time we've seen a character with a weird build for narrative reasons. It's just much more glaring, given how harsh this DLC is. But, you know, he's still a halfway decent sorcerer, so we can at least lean on that. Oh, one other thing real quick. You'll notice we have a Scroll of Heroism now. That is in place of that Scroll of Blur we picked up during the text segment, because I went back into the tunnel so we could grab a heavy shield for Kanos. Forgot to do that last time, so I just rolled it back about 10 minutes. Figured it was worth it to bump his AC up to 19. Anyway, let's have a chat with our new sorcerer, shall we? I'm not sure how to do that because he's already in our party. Oh, crap. Well, that's not great.
I got this.
Resistant. So we're back to classic undead resistances. What's going on? Is he a mongrelman? Yeah, he's got some serious land face going on there. Interesting. Resistant to piercing. Yeah, that tracks.
Damn you!
What a to-do! We were scrambling this way with undead herring after us going, oh, and snap, snap, snap with their teeth. And then you all appear out of nowhere going, oh no, monsters, eek! But me, I never abandon a person in need. No way, no how. Saving people in need is what I'm good at. Stick with me, and we'll all make it out of this alive.
Oh, wow, that is a lot to take in. A young gnome sorcerer with a bandage over one eye jauntily brushes the hem of his cloak.
We're the ones who saved you, dolt. Take care with this one. A friendly idiot can be more dangerous than an enemy.
Record turns his gaze on you. His eyebrows creep upward, his lips flattening into a thin line.
Hold on, I'm not... Yes, everything's in such turmoil right now you can't even trust me. I get it. In that case... I swear on my life, on the sublime Desna who bears the name of the Song of the Spheres, and on my magnificent boots, that I will protect you from the monsters and lead you to a safe place, wherever that may be.
This is rough. This is, I love that both of our initial responses are already exasperated, like it's not even a choice. Stop talking. Who are you?
Indeed, how silly of me. My manners are all over the place after fleeing from those things. Allow me to introduce myself. Sendrimel Knuckles Kimberton Tourmaline. Just Sendri to my friends. And this is my pal Brody. Yep, he's a gravedigger here. Or something like that.
Sendri drops into something resembling a bow, then gestures at the trembling fellow standing beside him.
Pale, sweating, emaciated, wandering gaze, and... what's that? A bite mark on his neck? There's no doubt about it. This man's got ghoul fever. He's either an idiot who didn't realize he was sick, or he's a liar and he deliberately kept quiet about it. Either way, he needs to die. Now!
Record's eyes come to rest on Brody. He draws his dagger from its sheath and takes a step toward the gravedigger.
Have mercy, I beg you. I have a family, children. What fever? I don't feel sick at all, I swear.
Brody stumbles away, cowering behind his hands. Okay, so he's turning into a ghoul. That's why he looks weird. Yeah, we saw plenty of that back in the main campaign.
One more word, and I'll slit your throat.
I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Record. Ghoul fever is an entirely treatable condition. That aside, if he is the gravedigger for this graveyard, I feel like that would make him a valuable source of information. Worst case scenario, he completes his transformation and we kill him, in which case he still ends up dead. I feel like that's manageable. Record, stop.
I'll stop when the dead rest, when the cultists are wiped out, and when the demons go back to the abyss. Until then, our survival is my top priority.
Record shoves the terrified Brody aside and grudgingly lowers his weapon. The gravedigger grows even paler and backs further away, clearly not wanting to tempt fate. By immediately walking into Record. Interesting strategy.
Whoa! There's no need for weapons and threats. Taking somebody's life like it's worth nothing, it's not right. I swear I didn't know that Brody was sick. I was kind of distracted by other things, you know? First we were chasing the snappers around the cemetery, and then they were chasing us, but on the bright side, I know how to help him. There's a crypt in the cemetery full of interesting knickknacks, including a scroll that's sure to cure Brody's fever. That's right! If we go and get it, we'll be saving an innocent man's life.
Wow, how incredibly convenient. Tell me about this crypt.
How should I describe it? It's all stony and fancy. It's on the far side of the cemetery. There's a wizard interred in it, a scholar I greatly admire. He was a master of many things, and he was a collector of magical objects too. And the library he had, ooh, it was an ogre, miss. Get it? As big as an ogre? Oh, except ogres are stupid and libraries are smart.
Oh my goodness, every second I talk to this guy makes my brain want to stop braining. Is that what I've been doing to people with my dumb jokes? I am so sorry, I'm a monster. Sendri's eyes sparkle.
Oh, fantastic. Our heroic sorcerer is nothing but a common thief, and one with a lousy sense of humor to boot.
Record wearily rubs his temples, turning to you. Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy. Preaching to the choir.
Hold your horns there, my morose young man. You're looking at everything in the worst possible light. If you like, I can give you a pink crystal to look at the world through. That'll put a smile on your face.
What?
I was only looking for one book. The esteemed wizard took it to his grave. Literally. The thought of stealing never even crossed my mind. I left everything exactly where it was. The potions, the scrolls, the jewels, everything. I read, I learned some useful information, and I left. That's it.
The gnome wrinkles his nose and then throws his arms wide, turning to you now.
You were in a tomb full of magical objects and scrolls, and you didn't take a thing? How have you survived this long?
Okay, well, now I'm starting to get mixed signals from you, Rek. Are you mad that he's a thief, or are you mad that he was just trespassing? Though I guess Grim would technically frown on either, given that we're lawful neutral. You broke into a crypt to read a book? You don't have anything to do with all these undead, do you?
When I went down into the crypt, there was no sign of any snappers. I found the book I was after, I read it, and it was so fascinating that I picked up another to read, and another. And then something made an almighty bang! The wizard himself had risen from his tomb! Well, wasn't I just shaking in my boots with my heart in my throat? But I very politely cast a spell on him, and he went down like a lamb. That's when I realized there was something weird going on outside. I decided to sit tight. There were plenty of books, so I wouldn't lack for something to do. Then later on, I heard shouting and I ran to the rescue. There you have it.
I gotta say, I'm getting some serious Kender vibes here. Is this just what gnomes are in Pathfinder? Are they basically just Kender?
Canabris is under attack. Demons, dark creatures, cultists, marauders. The city is overrun. You're lucky you were away from the thick of things. An annoying little twerp like you would have been snuffed out in no time.
Oh, that does explain a lot. All the more reason to save as many people as we can.
Huh, yeah, I can get behind that. What's this scroll you mentioned?
A scroll that can cure almost any affliction. They're very rare, and therefore extremely valuable. I'm no thief, but since it's for a good cause, I think we can borrow it from our dear departed wizard.
You mean the one you, double killed? Yeah, I'd say he's probably beyond needing it. How did your friend get sick in the first place?
I have no idea, to be honest. We only became friends after I saved him from the snappers not long ago. You're better off asking him.
Sendri shuffles from foot to foot, awkwardly scratching the back of his neck.
Sir, I'll tell you everything, but please, have mercy. I was just an ordinary gravedigger doing my job, when suddenly somebody attacked me from behind and beat me, right here. I thought I was as good as dead. I panicked and spun around and whacked this thing with my shovel. And I saw it was a ghoul. It was laid out on the ground, twitching. I gave it a couple of wallops for good measure.
Brody approaches you warily, casting sidelong glances at Record as he does. He pulls down the collar of his shirt, revealing a darkening bite mark.
And I felt fine, that's the honest truth. Except I haven't been able to eat a crumb of food since. I thought it was all those corpses of the damned rising from their graves. They stink to high heaven, I'm sure you've noticed it yourself. So I didn't know I was sick until your friend said it. I swear I didn't know.
Brody swallows nervously and draws in a breath. He finishes his account, bows, and retreats to a safe distance once more. And you, Sendri, what happened to your eye? Are you hurt?
My eye? What eye? Oh, this eye! Oh, my friend, that is a long story. The telling really demands a whole barrel of ale, but fair enough, I'll tell you anyway. My adventuring once led me to the frozen lands of Irisen. Back then, I was on a quest for the Ice Flower, a rare crystal that I hoped to add to my collection, and out of the blue, I was set upon by 3 frostworms, if you'll believe it. I dispatched 2 of them, but the third knocked me over a cliff edge. Down and down I went, and then a branch on the cliff face pierced my eye, and that's how I survived. A small price to pay, eh? So don't worry about me. As they say, what the eye cannot see, the heart cannot miss.
Okay, first of all, kudos to whoever voiced this guy, because that is intense. Also, is he telling me that he was saved from falling to his death by impaling himself through the eye on a branch, which I guess caught him by the eye socket? Concocting a tale like that would be easy for a gnome, but Sendri seems relatively sincere. And yet you remain convinced that many parts of that story were embellished, and others left out entirely. Yes, generally speaking, when someone gets stabbed through the eye with a branch, they don't just walk away from it.
Irisen, frostworms, a conveniently placed branch. Listening to his jabbering is hurting my ears. Make him stop, will ya? A good kick should do it.
Pretty sure that would kill him, but I am keeping my options open. I can't make any promises, but if we do acquire this scroll, we'll try to help your friend.
Really? You'll do it? Oh, praise the gods! Believe me, sir, I'll find a way to repay you, and I'll help however I can.
I knew you'd come to the right decision. Let's go. Time to get out of this graveyard. And remember, the crypt containing the scroll is all the way over yonder by the gate.
Right, why wouldn't it be? Sentry claps his hands like a delighted child.
Pardon me for butting in, but you may recall that I also need to get into a crypt here. The one with a rose on it? You know what? Forget it. I'm not setting a foot in there. I'm not ending up in the belly of an undead. Vow or no. I should just stay here where it's safe. Alive and...
Enough chatting. Let's go already.
Record curtly interrupts the musician's hand-wringing. I mean, we'll try to do that too, but that does feel like a lower priority. So, we're in the graveyard. I know something about this place. Come closer and I will tell you. With your permission, come, sir. I will show you something. Alright, so we are officially into the graveyard. With a container right over here, conveniently placed behind some knee-high debris. Why wouldn't it be? Let's get Sendri patched real quick.
I'm losing my temper.
There we go. It's just our luck to come up inside the middle of a graveyard. It's all right, we'll find a way. Just gotta avoid getting buried again. Am I right? That you are, Bamir. I guess he's fine. I assume if they're injured or exhausted, it'll actually tell us. The world has gone mad. People are being murdered in the theater. The dead are preying upon the living in the graveyard. When will this nightmare end? Tell me, what's so important about this crypt you want us to visit? It is the resting place of Talia Vessi. People used to call her Rose of the Borderland. She was a heroine of the Crusades and greatest of all the songstresses that have ever graced our theater stage. I only heard her voice once when I was still a child. I dreamed of hearing it again. But the next time she came to Canabras, it was not for a tour, but for her funeral. He sighs. Banshee, maybe? No, that would be too much. I swore I would play by her crypt when my violin was worthy of honoring her memory, but I never have. I always thought my skill wasn't good enough for her greatness. But now, when my life could come to an end any minute... He stops and shakes his head. No, it's foolish. Pay me no mind. The graveyard is crawling with the undead. I can't possibly ask you to risk your lives for my romantic dreams. The last thing we need right now is a concert. At least our songbird still has some common sense knocking around in his head. You know, normally I would agree, but we just came off an event where Langrat used his music to placate a restless spirit. If he could actually do that on a grander scale, then I could see that being very useful. I'll tell you what, Langrat. We'll scout out the situation when we get there. If it looks reasonable, then perhaps we'll do it. Oh, that would be marvelous! His eyes light up with a glimmer of hope, but then he adds hastily. If it's not too much trouble for you, that is. I swear it's not worth risking anyone's neck. Neither yours nor mine. Then we are in agreement. That's it for Langrat. So now... Freda. A stench in here. It's as if something has rotten away. And unfortunately, I have an idea what it might be. Or rather, who. Noted, but first, how are you doing, Freda? Are you holding up? My condition is sound. I can walk, and that's what matters. Despite her brisk tone, Freda is not looking healthy. So she's still unwell. I was hoping the food would fix that, but apparently not. So, tell me about the graveyard. Given the World Wound's proximity, the graveyard was outfitted with a number of enchantments and devices designed to prevent mass raisings. Apparently they have proven to be of little use, but perhaps some are still functional. Note the angel statues. In an emergency, they are supposed to emit positive energy, which heals the living and destroys the undead. Stay close to them, and please try not to break any. They cost the city a sizable sum. And one more thing. I do not doubt that you are all law-abiding townsfolk who would never stoop to looting and grave robbing, no matter how dire the situation. But should you be interested in learning about the city's history... Freda hides her face, her lowered voice laden with shame. The richest burial sites are located to the left of the gate. Duly noted, but yeah, I think we'll try to refrain from grave robbing. Unless it's to save someone's life, like with that scroll. Oh, that does go against my loot hoarder instincts, though. Sir? You see, well, the thing is... Brody is mumbling, avoiding your gaze. Finally, with a heavy sigh, he summons up his courage. Back in the day, before this whole disaster, I chased off all them grave-robbing types with these 2 hands. But now, my charges here don't need nothing no more, but their belongings might save us. Let me tell you about the spots here with some good pickings. I'll dig 'em up myself if you like. It's all the same now. Wow, and immediate temptation. But no, as I just stated, we'll try to refrain. You're suggesting grave robbing? I am. Of course I am. Pardon me for this kind of talk, sir. But it'd be a shame to die out here. Oh man, it would be nice to have more stuff. But do we really need more stuff? I mean, we're in halfway decent shape at this point. We have some proper armor, we have some proper weapons. Grim really doesn't need much of anything, unless there's magic stuff. We could use more magic stuff. You know what? We'll keep our options open there. We're not going to endorse the idea, but we're also not going to close it out entirely. We're lawful, but I don't necessarily want to let someone die over it. I'll keep it in mind. Thank you. Don't take me for a thief or some sort of robber. It's just, well, you know, at a time like this... His mumbling becomes completely incoherent as he turns away in shame. It's fine, Brody. How are you feeling? I think I'm fine. His pale face and labored breathing tell you that he is not in very good health. Why don't you tell me about yourself? Just a poor gravedigger, sir. Brody's the name. My whole life I've been breaking my back in the local graveyard. And, how did this happen again? Right. So there I was, digging them graves. Then suddenly a ghoul attacked me from behind and bit me. Well, I got spooked, of course, and walloped the thing with my shovel right between the eyes. And then another couple of times for good measure. And I've been just fine, honest, except, well, not a crumb has passed my lips in days. So I didn't even know I was sick. I swear I didn't. Days. That's a new detail, so he's pretty far along. Oh, I've read about ghoul fever somewhere. A most fascinating disease. All you need is to have a bite of ghoul meat, or to let a ghoul have a bite of yours. Yep, indeed. If you've got it, you really can't eat normal food at all. Just like our friend here. But the hunger grows and grows, driving you mad, until you become a ghoul yourself, and start feeding on the flesh of others. Or, well, until you die. Then you become a ghoul in the morning, and there you have it. Right, thanks. Sendri, way to keep Brody's spirits up. You'll see, Grim. He's going to bring us a whole load of trouble. Just you wait. Is that when you met Sendri, when you were bitten? This gnome gentleman here saved me when I was legging it from the Dead-Uns. He guided me through the graveyard, protected me with his magics until we cut them loose. Although a bit later we ran straight into another pack of those beasts, loads of them. We ran and ran until we met you. And, well, you know the rest. Right. I don't suppose you could tell us anything else about the graveyard. Oh, that I can do. Our graveyard, see, it's split into two parts. The old part and the new part. And there's a big old wall between them. It's got a bit weathered down over the years. You can find cracks here and there. We're in the abandoned part right now. Nobody ever comes in here. A bit farther ahead is the ruined section. I think there was a big battle there many years ago. Or maybe a natural disaster of some sort. Either way, now there's nothing but the old temple over there. Okay, so this isn't either of the graveyards we remember from Vex's adventures. Which is fine, I keep expecting it to overlap at some point. And on the other side of that wall, that is where the folks are buried. The poor in mud holes, the better off types in decent graves, sometimes even crypts. And the rich folk rest in their family tombs right by the graveyard gates. That's where the knights go, and the mages, and nobles of all kinds. Really pretty tombs, those. I've had to shoo looters away with the old shovel on occasion. Thank you, Brody. This has been most informative. Iomade watch over you, sir. Alright, so that gave us a lot of potentially useful intel about where to look for the best loot, and what sort of defensive features we might be able to rely on, the angel statues in particular. And of course, this is not a safe rest point, so we can rest here, but only twice before corruption becomes an issue. We'll refrain for now. We're still in halfway decent shape. We've got some fervor, we've got Sendri spell slots and a fair amount of HP. We'll try to grind out at least a couple of encounters before we risk resting. But, you know, we'll reevaluate after each encounter. Stop. Can you smell it? There's a throng of cadavers right ahead. Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 zombies, jeez. That feels slightly excessive. Owlcat. So let's maybe not go that way. We have an alternate path here. We'll check that out first. And ominous purple mist. That's always a good sign. There's no getting through. Perhaps the rubble can be cleared from the other side. Right, like the bridges back in the caves. Just a shortcut for once we get far enough in. Skeleton. Which is slightly preferable to 9 zombies. Zombies. And an archer in back. So zombies are vulnerable to slashing, right? And then skeletons are vulnerable to bludgeoning? It changes from game to game, so it's kind of hard to keep it all straight sometimes.
You're not a threat. You're an obstacle.
Right, so definitely resistant to piercing. And they are vulnerable to bludgeoning. So that is a job for Aiden. Nice.
Don't hold back!
The zombies are slightly trickier because we don't really have much in the way of slashing. It's pretty much just Gaia.
Are you still here? Strike! Let's hear you cry.
Away with you, monsters! Away! Okay. Another potential rescuee. Sentry shuffles his feet, nervously glancing at the temple below. Did you see that? You did see it, right? Did you? We can't just leave a person in danger. No, we cannot. The temple is old. The doors are going to crack and collapse. We must rescue that poor woman. I'd say I'm not getting paid to rescue every person who crosses my path. Record's voice is cold and calm. Fortunately for you, we can't avoid this fight either way. Do you see a path that would take us past this temple and the throng of cadavers shuffling around in front of it? Because I don't. Oh, well, this is just wonderful. It means we'll be able to help that person and advance our cause at the same time. Everybody is happy. No difficult moral dilemmas. If only things were always this simple. I swear on my cufflinks. Oh, yeah, if only. It's my dearest wish to not be able to take a step without running into yet another bunch of idiots that urgently need rescuing from a throng of disgusting monsters, hungering for my flesh. Harsh, but fair. I mean, my first instinct is to try to help people, but we do have to keep prioritization and practicality in mind here. We'll worry about what happens when it happens. No point in getting too far ahead of ourselves. Good point. At least this we agree on. Gelatinous cube. And a gelatinous monument. Though we do have a pillar we can push on it, that's good at least. Yeah, we really need to make more use of those environmental factors.
My skills are absolute.
Okay, so this takes us around the 9 zombies. And gets us a rotten longbow, that's -2 to hit. Yeah, so we'll just ignore... Are you kidding me? Alright, so 3 skeletal archers and 4 zombos. The archers are very blatantly tucked in back, on elevation, not easily reached. Oh gosh, I hate this. Let's try shooting the zombies from here and kiting them up this path. Yeah, if we can make use of this choke point, that would make it a lot easier. No, that's too far down. Much better.
We must act.
All right, let's do this. Oh, okay, so we can't shoot them from up there. Well, dang it, that was my whole game plan. Actually, we've got another path here. Maybe we'll check that out. Okay, we've got loot. And a skill check. Crafting ingredients, no big deal. But this looks promising. The old masonry is collapsed. Clearing the debris would require tools, or exceptional strength. Which would get us through that wall, I guess, and into the next area. I guess we'll call in Bamir. It's either that or fatigue ourselves, it sounds like. The wall collapsed, you say? Alright, let's have a good look at this wall of yours. Oof, I've had enough of this rubble. Sorry, but this is the best I can do. I'm all out of breath. So that did not get us through the wall. That cleared open this? Oh, wait a minute. Did that put us... Oh! Okay, I get it now. We are right behind the archers. I didn't even realize. Yes, that does make things much, much more advantageous for us. No other environmental factors we're seeing. So it looks like a straight fight from here. Nice hit. Let's slow down the zombies. Oh, nice.
Run them through!
Crap. Gotta remember to turn off that stealth. Nice. Huh. So I guess we were far enough away that the zombies didn't activate. I really don't want to waste that grease spell, though, so we'll pop them in just a second. Might actually be good for Sir Brown. He has mage armor running right now, but once that wears off, this would keep him at 16. That would let us keep the leather on record.
Let's move already.
Sure thing.
I serve the Crusades, strange as it sounds. Should I?
Nice. I'm gonna revoke that nice. I don't like that they keep hiding enemies from us like that. It really undermines our scouting. Let's reposition real quick. We'll try to draw them into the grease. Oh, lovely. Okay, okay. Oh, that's a problem.
It's you or me.
You know, we might actually be okay here. Grease is great for this area. I mean, look, this is time-consuming, but it's a whole lot safer than going toe-to-toe.
going down!
Alright, I think we all see where this is going. Let's skip ahead a little. And we are victorious. Wow, I gotta say, that went so smoothly. I'm actually tempted to see if we can draw that other group in as well. The 9 Zombres. Then again, we're already past time, so probably not the best time to do it right now. Oh, also our grease just wore off, so maybe not. Oh, rusty breastplate. Oh, and a heavy shield. Gosh darn it. Man, now I feel silly for going back and wasting all our gold buying one from that other guy. Oh well. Heavy crossbow, okay. And holy water. Well, at least we got something from this. Alright, folks. We're past time, but I feel like we're at a pretty good breaking point here. We've gotten ourselves out into the graveyard proper. We have a solid foothold, plus some decent upgrades there. And now that we know how effective grease is, I feel like that's really going to help us moving forward. So we will hit the pause button for now. I'll take stock of our current condition, do some off-screen bookkeeping, and we'll pick up here next time. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game and its DLC by visiting the official websites. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon, the YouTube memberships, or the Nexus GG page. Links are in the description.
Oh, that does explain a lot.